Hey, it's the right Rican, and uh, you can say I'm the right Latino, the right Hispanic. I don't care. Either term, fine by me. But the one thing, do not call me if you want to piss me off, is Latinx, because I'll say God bless you. Because listen, that's some woke white nonsense. Okay, and I will say white. I will be stereotypical. Okay, because that's where this woke nonsense is coming from. Okay, I don't need some white liberal college educated Marxist loving professor to tell me that to call us Latinx. No. Okay. And if you want to see the peak ridiculousness of this, let's show you this stupid video of the joke of the president. First, he panders to black people, then he
There's a
panders
reason
here.
why it's been harder to get African Americans initially to get vaccinated because there used to be an experimented on it. The Tuskegee Airmen and others. People have memories. People have long memories. It's awful hard as well to get Latinx vaccinated as well. Why? They're worried that they'll be vaccinated and deported.
I mean, that's some serious pandering. It's like because the majority of Latinos are illegal, so we're worried that we're going to be deported. Are you effing kidding me? Come on. But meanwhile, that's not racist. How is that not racist? Wasn't that on the news? Why wasn't CNN? Why wasn't MSNBC and ABC and all that saying how racist the president is? Because that's racist. How is it that he gets, well, I know why it is he gets away with saying that. Because why? Because the majority of the news are okay with it. They're okay with this type of racism because it's the low bigotry, the high, was it the low big, the high bigotry of low expectations. Because you know they don't. I shouldn't even say that. They just cover for it. They just cover. I mean, I remember when the whole thing he said about Obama being the first articulate black man running for president, something like that. That he said that it's like when I remember when Obama chose Biden to be his vice president, I was like, really, that guy? But I mean, seriously, this term is annoying. It's really annoying. I want to read a couple of things here. This is from why is it white? Don't tell me it did that. Okay, there it goes. Sorry. Latinx hasn't even caught on among Latinos, and it never will. Here it goes. The term is an English language contrivance, not a real gesture at gender inclusivity. Here's the whole thing. The term Latinx, modifying Latino and Latina to describe people in a gender inclusive way, has become commonplace in some quarters. Opponents of transphobia and sexism leaving their social media posts, academic papers, and workplace Slack chats with the term. Liberal politicians use it. Civil rights litigators use it. Social scientists use it. Public health experts like Anthony Fauci use it. Merriam-Webster added it to the dictionary in 2018, but the label has not won wide adoption among 61 million people of Latin American descent living in the United States. Only about 1 in 4 Latinos in the United States are even familiar with the term, according to the August Pew Research Center. Just 3% identify themselves that way. I think I found that article too. Was it right here? Yeah, this was from Pew Research from August 11th, 2020. About 1 in 4 US Hispanics have heard of the term Latinx, but only 3% use it. Young Hispanic women are among the most likely to use the term. And that's the whole thing. It's like, look, listen, we are who we are. Spanish is a Latin language. A Latin language is derived, it's a Latin derived language. Even though I think, if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere Latin had has three forms of words. It's either masculine, feminine, or neutral. Okay. Um, but Spanish, you have masculine, feminine. Because look, at the end of the day, okay, for you people who say there's 10,000 genders, there's two sexes. Okay. When you're transgender, okay, you're either a guy who thinks you're who wants to identify as a male, or you're a male that wants to identify as a female. Okay. That's it. There's no, I'm a male and I identify as uh, a fighter jet, whatever. There's no such thing. Okay, you're either male, female, or you want to be. That's it. You could be androgynous and be a little bit of both, but that's never stopped anybody before. You've had eunuchs. You had eunuchs back in the day. Okay, so it's nothing new that you have people who are one or the other, or I mean, growing up we had tomboys. It was you know girls who taught, girls who were basically did more of the boy stuff. You had effeminate males, but usually, and no, I'm not going to overgeneralize, but like the effeminate males tended to be gay. And same thing with well, I shouldn't say the same thing with the tomboys. It was like, it wasn't even half and half. Like most of the tomboys I knew were just girls who liked sports. That was it. I remember I had a crush on a girl who played basketball. She taught me how to crossover, which I still suck at, but she was the only one who could show me how to do it. But but we're not talking. Well, it kind of has to do, goes hand in hand with it. But this term is a woke, nonsensical term that Latinos, well, especially older Latinos, are not going to use it. Okay. Um, Me being I'm a zennial, whatever. I'm just under millennial. But us zennials, and we're not going to be using that term. I don't know what the millennials are going to do with that, but here's a great article. Not this one. um, I found this doing a search. It's here, North Texas Daily, but I love the title of the article. Latinx is whitewashing an entire community. I'm just going to go through it. It goes, Latino is a term used to refer to demographic of people from South America. It's a term that has been used by the Latin community for generations to describe themselves as Hispanic or Chicano. Latinx has risen in popularity over the last 10 years as politics has become a more widely discussed topic in mainstream media. First, I want to say that I'm happy we are having a deeper discussion that will provide inclusion for different communities of people. I fully believe that America is made greater by celebrating the diversity of its citizens, whether it's by race, gender, or sex. However, Latinx falls short of its intentions because it's a white American based decision made for an entirely different community of people without asking for their input. And there you go. I mean, that's perfectly said right there. Okay. Nobody asked our input. Did we want to change it? No. Did anyone ask if we wanted it changed? But to just plainly just go and do it, it's just, you know, he goes, despite the rise of Latinx in American culture, there hasn't been any form of progression in the Spanish language. The Latino community is split not so much on usage of the word as an identifier, but being grouped together in it. As a Mexican American, I know the history of past generations being forced to assimilate to white American standards in the 30s and 40s. There was a time when Chicano was considered a bad word because people using the term were ashamed of calling themselves Mexican or Hispanic so they would fit in with the white crowd. Latinx feels like a term being forced on the Latino community to make them woke. While some Latinos use the term to identify themselves, most don't. And that's the whole thing. Like I said, we don't. We don't want it. We don't want it. Look, we don't. The majority of us do not want that woke nonsense. There's a lot of Latinos, they don't pay attention to that stuff. Um when it comes to, like, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, you know, they don't even look into the details of it. If they looked, I remember telling people about, like, when they wanted to abolish the family, and they're like, no, they don't. And I sent them the what they stand for, and it was like, oh man, this was before they removed it, and it was like, that's why they removed it, because a lot of people would go, look, it's on their website, and you would show them, hey, look, it's they want to abolish the family, and it's a matter of fact, let me see it. Obviously, if you go, let's see, BLM abolish the family, just so you could see, here it goes. Um, Black Lives Matters goal to disrupt the nuclear family. This is a good why more Marxist organizations like BLM seek to dismantle the nuclear family. Here's from September 2024. So September 24th, 2020. So you can see Black Lives. You could say it's New York Post, but whatever. I'm going to show you. I'm pretty sure they'll show you where it's Black Lives Matter site removes page on nuclear family structure amid NFL vets criticism, and that was this Marcus Wiley. The page, which was no longer available Thursday, also said BLM aimed to dismantle the patriarchal practice that leads to mothers having to work double shifts to make ends meet. It goes here. The site still has an about Black Lives page that features a shorter list of goals, including a world where Black lives are no longer systematic target. Okay, but let me see. If you click on here, that will it show? No, it doesn't. See the page you are looking for. I wish they would have did, like, you could usually you could do like a screenshot. Let me see if some other one of these pages did a better job at that. Um, I just want to show it. I don't want to say, you can see from the article there, but usually what a lot of some of these pages will do is show like a screen share or something like that. Black Lives Matter has removed what we believe page from its site. The page includes many beliefs and objectives. Okay. Um, the Wayback Machine archived the page. Let's see. However, and it contains a lengthy description of the organization's tenets. So let's see. Here it goes. Here's an archive. So this is the archived version of what they stand for. And where is it? Um, let's see. Damn it. Excuse me with that one. Um, okay. Let me just go and look at it real quick just so I could see. We acknowledge, respect, blah blah blah, unapologetically black. We see us part of a global black family, and we are aware of the different ways we are impacted. Privileged black people, but that Black Lives Matter. We make our spaces family friendly, enable parents to fully participate with their children. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires da 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 da. We disrupt, here it goes. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children. Now, this is the whole thing. I don't have a problem with that whole it takes a village, because I remember growing up in my neighborhood. I remember I cut school one time, and someone saw me and told my mother, and it takes a village. But I still have my parents. I still have my grandparents. I still have my uncles, my aunts. I had my cousins. So I still have my family. And but this is what they stood for, and this is what they stand for, and this is what they had to delete because they got backlash over it. And now they could, since they deleted it, but the internet doesn't forget. Okay. Um, but yeah, so, like I said, all that just to show you. Look, listen, it's woke nonsense that is dividing this country. And at the end of the day, if Latinos if we embrace that term, it's going to divide Latinos too. And at the end of the day, if there's strength in numbers and Latinos, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to stop with believing. I mean, I was um I go on pages like Being Liberal and all this stuff, all these lefty pages, and I try to wake up people, but people don't want to hear it. Like I told someone, I said, look, a New York Republican is would have to run as a Democrat in a state like Texas. In southern states, a New York Republican could be just a conservative Democrat, but they don't want to see it. They're like, no, I don't not gotta vote for the racist Republicans. They'll put Republicans with KKK, and it's like, look, listen, you guys need to wake up. I'm not I'm not saying that the Republicans are the answers to your problems, but the Democrats are causing the problems in the inner cities with their policies. You need a balance. If you look at a state like California and you see um, the problems that it has because it has a super majority of Democrats. I'm not saying that you need states with super majority of Republicans either, because you want that balance. You want the pushback. You don't want one party control. You want to be able to have 55, 45, 58, 42. Why? So like that you could foster compromise. Not what the Democrats are trying to do now with ending the filibuster. You want to go, okay, look, listen, I want to do all these things because blah, 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 blah. But what do you agree on? Okay, there's 10 things I want to do. Do you agree on two of them? Okay, let's get those two things done. We'll come back to those other eight things later on. But what's going on? We live in an instant gratification society right now. Everybody wants everything like this, and nobody wants to go, okay, you know what? Look, we want infrastructure. Want to fix roads, want to fix bridges, want to put high speed internet in rural areas. Cool, let's do that. But then they'll throw in stuff that's not infrastructure, but they'll claim it's infrastructure. And it sounds all nice and dandy, but let's do what we can first, what we agree on, instead of trying to push stuff like universal child care, universal basic income, universal health care. Let's do the stuff that we agree on and stop trying to push the stuff that we don't. Just because you won on an election and you don't have enough power to do it. So stop trying to push it. Do what you can. That's the whole thing. If This is what kills me, you do what you can, you show wins that way, and people are going to vote for you. Then, as you gain more power, you could do more things. But no, they want to push it hard, and it happens on both sides. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't. But look, listen. At the end of the day, Latinos, we're a big voting bloc. That's why you have Joe Biden there pandering to us with the whole Latinx uh nonsense, and saying that we're afraid to be deported. Like I said, that's so racist, but the media won't call it racist. So you gotta wake up. You got to stop. You got to stop just blindly vote. Look how the Democrats. Why they pushing? Why they push for our vote? Because at the end of the day, blacks vote overwhelmingly, not over 90% for Democrats. Okay, so why are Democrats pushing for our vote? Because the fact that they need us to push them over the top, and they do. That's why, like in inner cities, that's why they get such huge margins of victory, because you got blacks and Latinos overwhelmingly voting Democrat, and that's what happens. But if we go, okay, you know what? Look, listen, they ain't doing shit for us. Sorry, they ain't doing nothing for us. Let's let's try something different. Let's stop being insane and do things different. I mean, especially take a city in New York. Look, I understand that you people you got propagandized to hate Giuliani, to hate Trump. But look, Giuliani, whether you liked him or not, cleaned up the city. He made, you may not agree with the way he did it. You may disagree with a policy here, a policy there, but he cleaned up the city, made New York City a place where people want to not only come to invest their businesses here, you made people want to be able to come here to be tourists. So in turn, not only did you, not by cleaning up the cities, by his broken windows policies, okay, he cleaned up the city, lowered the crime, increased economic opportunity for everyone. And now what's going on is just the destruction of that, because now instead of broken windows, now you have open windows, which is they're just letting people out of the jails. You do a crime, no bail. I'm back out on the street. I do another crime, still back out on the street. I mean, how many times does someone have to get arrested for them to stay in the jail? I don't get that, and that's what's going on. So we need to really, you really we gotta get it together, Latinos. We're the ones that right now, we whites are split. Whites are split. We go anywhere between 30% Republican in any given federal election to as high, I think, as 45%. 44% people of Latinos voted for Bush, I think, in 1 year. I think that was the highest number. Um, so we have the power. So we need to wake up. You need to push our friends and our family to try to go, look, listen, I get it. You don't like Orange Man, okay? But tell me, what has the Democrats done for you? What have they done other than destroy our inner cities? New York's going to, you know, New York's going to, or everybody says shit once. So New York's going to shit. Chicago's been shit. Um, people got mad at when Trump said shithole countries. And guess what? We got shithole cities. Okay, that's where New York is going. That's, LA's always had a problem. Chicago's always had a problem. New York, New York was known as the safest big city in the world. But we're not there anymore. So, I mean, you go across the country. I mean, of course, you have bigger cities, you have bigger population densities, you're going to have more crime. It's just a given. But at the end of the day, the policies that are implemented will either make it better or worse. And what's going on is it's making it worse. Look, you don't have to like some of these policies. You don't have to like I said, broken windows where, everything was, from, alcohol consumption to jumping turnstiles. Everything was pressed because it just showed, say a person who jumps the turnstile could be someone who has an illegal gun on them or could have a warrant for their arrest. And you catch them, you run them, you might take a criminal off the streets. That's the way the broken windows work. Stop and frisk. Not a fan of it either, but at the same time, if you're worried, for the people who are worried about the, gun control and illegal guns, getting those off the street was one of the best ways. It may have been annoying, but you know what? Go at the same time. Hey, you know what? You got lawyers and all these people in suits who use drugs. Well, maybe once in a while, you know what, you wanna make it even. Just have a cop on Fifth Avenue go and stop and frisk a lawyer for drugs. The lawyer doesn't like it. Guess what? I We know that we know attorneys are high users of coke. Just gotta make stop and frisk more even, so like that people don't say it's a violation of people of color. There you go. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there because I've been going on and on. This Latinx term just annoys the hell out of me, and I do not want to be called it. So, if you agree with me, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. You can follow me. I'm on YouTube and Rumble. Please like. Don't just if you just come across this video and you just don't like it, when just please view it. Give me a like. Give me a comment. Feeds the algorithms. Anyways, the very weekend. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab, and then Telegram also. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good weekend.